Hey, welcome. The Power Trip Morning Show. It's all coming together now.
We gonna slow it down or what?
Sure. Yeah.
Is that because Muss is coming in? You got
Muss
playing
just
a
walked in.
little bluegrass?
I'm trying to keep him down, because he gets all pumped up and it's hard to handle him.
Well, speaking of down, can we quickly do an update? We have 1 week to go in the Charge Challenge, and Zach still gets to go tonight. He has Chase Brown.
Right.
But, Chris, did you see the week that you put up?
I have no idea.
You had Kyron Williams, who had a couple of touchdowns and a bunch of yards. You had 21. You won the week so far with Zach still to play tonight. So here's what we have with 1 week to go plus Zach tonight. I have 224. Sauce, you're in second now because Parrish had a disastrous game. You have 187.
Yep.
Parrish has 177. Creasel had a solid week out of Bijan Robinson with the Falcons because he got in the end zone. He has 175. But, Chris, you had 21 points with Kyron Williams.
Nice.
So, you are 16 ahead of Zach. But, again, Zach plays tonight and then next week. He has Chase Brown tonight. But you're just 14 behind Creasel. Just 16 behind Parrish.
Ooh.
So both of them are within striking distance. Sauce, you're 26 ahead. You've got to feel pretty good unless you get a first quarter injury and something crazy happens.
Yeah.
But Zach is 16 back of you, but he's 30 back of Creasel with 2 weeks for him to go. Ooh. So Zach's in gigantic trouble.
Yeah.
He needs a monster game out of Chase Brown against Zimmer's defense in Springfield. You said Oregon?
Yes. Zach, correct me if I'm wrong, but have you gotten the last pick the last 2 weeks? No,
baby.
Not you, Rocky.
So, Chris, you're putting the pressure on a little bit. A late push by Chris is going to make it interesting in the final week for at least Creasel and Parrish.
Yep, that's right. And big discounts from Cultivated CBD coming up here Tuesday
the max.
as well. Yeah, so that's great. So, man, I got lucky. I finally got an early pick and got a good player, so I'll take it, man.
Yeah.
And Sauce, your guy scored. Devon Achane scored almost. Scored almost immediately, and I'm like, and then did nothing the rest of the game.
He had 8 points in the first drive.
Yep, and then that was about it. Yep.
4 the rest of the way.
Hey, I didn't do the weather because I wasn't prepared for it. Today's 41, tomorrow 27, Wednesday 12, the high on Thursday 7.
Fantastic.
And then Friday 21, Saturday and Sunday 32 and 36.
Yep.
And we have
Only
Monday
if
Night
she's
Football this
5'3".
week, right?
That's right.
Yeah. That's 37 on Monday.
By the way, the last reason I brought that up, the Charge Challenge up, is because, Ben, you're here. And so, Ben, if it ended right now, the Bat Boy on Twin Cities Live sometime this spring before he has to go to the St. Paul Saints game and be the Bat Boy, dressed as Bat Boy, would be Zachary Halverson.
Hell yeah.
You'd have to do an entire segment. You and Elizabeth interview him straight-faced. He has to keep a straight face.
Wow.
Impossible.
And you got to interview him about, I don't know, whether it's White Bear Lake or hockey or who knows. But it's a serious interview, and he is not allowed to break. You are not allowed to break. I trust you and Elizabeth. And he's going to be dressed as Bad Boy for 24 hours. It's going to be the best.
I freaking love it.
It's going to be the best.
It's going to be the best.
Zach Halverson, KFAN.
Yeah. Where do you go, Zach?
And do we have the makeup artist and...
Yes.
Yeah,
ready to go?
That's part of it is you have to, pay for a professional job. You got
you can't half-ass this.
No.
Well, I mean, I guess Zach is allowed to beg for somebody to do it for free, but either way, he has to coordinate it. He has to make sure that it happens.
He's not
whether it's free or not.
Hey,
He prefers full ass.
Hi, Mus. He's got a full ass.
Yes, that is
He prefers full ass. Yeah.
Hi, Mus.
Hi, guys. What's going on?
How is you?
Things are happening.
Awesome. We're 11-2. Are you kidding me? There's nothing to complain about. It's outstanding. Sorry, Sauce.
No, I'm not. Sorry.
You're not wrong, though, with the 4 sacks.
Thank you.
But then again, the team also had 5 sacks the week before. So maybe they found something.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's 9 out of their 19.
But, at some point, sometimes things just click. I'm more concerned about how many yards we're giving up on the ground the last couple of weeks.
Only thing I'm concerned about is where I'm going to be staying for Super Bowl week.
Yeah.
Are you getting your own? I don't think you have to worry about it, do you?
I don't know. I want to make sure I get backups.
You're the road producer.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. It's too early to ask for a press pass, right, for the Super Bowl?
Probably. I don't know.
You know what? Go ahead and put the request.
Yeah,
in.
just go ahead and do
Just
it.
do it.
Who do I text? Abbott?
Bob Hagan.
Oh, he would gladly do it for me.
Of course he would.
Hawk, how would that work? Just to hypothetically talk about it. It's a neutral site. So is that a home game for us or an away game? How would you and Abbott figure that out?
I would guess we would both go.
Yeah, you'd both go.
Yeah. That's what I would think.
How many NFL players, according to DraftKings right now, have a better chance of being MVP than Sam Darnold? Name the guys that are on the list ahead of Sam for MVP.
Josh Allen,
Josh Allen is a
Saquon.
bust.
Lamar
Saquon
Jackson.
and Josh Allen are the
Okay.
top two. Josh Allen is the
Lamar
favorite.
probably
Saquon
still.
is second.
Aaron
What was the other one?
Rodgers.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson is tied for third.
Jared Goff.
Mahomes has got to be in there.
Jared Goff is tied for third, and then Patrick Mahomes is technically fourth/fifth. So that is the correct answer. You guys got them all. Josh Allen's the favorite, then Saquon Barkley, then tied is Jared Goff and Lamar Jackson. Then Patrick Mahomes is 40-1.
Jeez.
And Sam Darnold is 50-1. So think of the season he's having. According to DraftKings, he has a 2% chance of winning MVP.
How crazy is this season for Sam Darnold and the Vikings?
Crazy.
He's got 3,299 yards passing so far, 28 touchdowns. If he just averages out a 175 yards in the next 4 games, it's a 4,000 season
Yeah.
for Sam Darnold.
Greasy.
Isn't that just that's crazy.
Crazy.
I mean, I think the biggest metric of the whole thing is just him not throwing interceptions. I mean, you give this offense a chance continually without turning the ball over, whether it's a sack, fumble, or anything. Like his ability to escape and not put the ball in harm's way these last 4 games has been one of the biggest difference makers for him.
Super impressive with the 22 of 28, 347 and the 5 touchdowns, the 157.9 rate. That's unbelievable. Awesome game. But I was trying to think about it. I don't remember one throw where I'm like, ooh, that's the Sam Darnold throw. Like, ooh, he was so clean yesterday. It was awesome. Because we have not had a game where you didn't have one of those, that one easily could have been picked. That was in some trouble there.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sauce.
Can I make a preposterous statement?
I'm sure.
The Darnold avoiding the sack and throwing that ball down to Justin Jefferson is one of the better plays a Vikings quarterback has ever made. Because that's a zero blitz. They are all in to kill him. And I know the secondary just fell apart in all those situations.
Mike
but
Hughes
he
just
he
lost
steps
players.
up, he moves to his right, he plants and just bombs it. That's one of the better plays a Vikings quarterback has ever made.
And I love the question that you asked Sam Darnold after the game in the locker room, where you said, have you ever seen Justin Jefferson
that
that
wide
open?
open?
Yeah.
And he goes, no.
Yeah. Well, we all saw in the replay. Was that Mike Hughes that fell down?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
That freaking poor guy. I mean, he was retreating so fast. He looks over his right shoulder, doesn't see the ball, looks back over his left shoulder, loses his feet and falls down. Like, oh God.
Yeah.
It's over.
Well, he had a similar one with Addison as well, where he just lost where Addison was and where the ball was.
Oh man, it's a tough spot to be in.
You also had a chance to talk to Justin Jefferson, and you guys kind of joked, and he seemed to be in a good mood about the fact that he had not scored in the previous 6 games. The last time he scored a touchdown was October 20th against Detroit, but he had 2 of them yesterday, 7 catches, 132, and 2 scores. Of course, Addison had 3 touchdowns. Those 2, the first duo in Minnesota Vikings history to each have 100-plus yards receiving and 2 or more touchdown catches in the same game. Kind of insane that that's never happened.
I know.
With some of the receivers we've had, I'm
some of
surprised
the
it's never
receivers that you
happened.
guys have
think
had.
Moss and Carter would be
I know,
the
and
first
that
one
wasn't
you
just like
think
a
of.
1-year thing. Like the multiple years where you guys had that passing attack. I can't believe that's never happened.
Or just some weird one-off even, right?
Right.
Even you don't even have to have Moss and Carter. You just have one guy have a big game and then some other number 1 receiver has a solid game. But I guess that's how rare it is to have 4 touchdown throws in a game just in general.
I wonder if
let
it's
alone the
rare
2
that you
guys.
have 2 players in the same game, even if they're on opposite teams, do that.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, good point, Hogs.
Thanks,
Well, what happened? What happened last night with the Bills game? Who
man,
had
that's
all the
crazy.
touchdowns? My goodness,
I know.
86 points or something scored?
That was a fun game to watch, man.
Holy cow!
Josh Allen is incredible.
I know he's insane.
Hey, who did the Bills play last week? It was a big
That was
game
a
for them,
snow
right?
game.
Yeah, that was
Against,
The Niners?
Corey's Niners.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
the
yeah.
Niners,
yeah. Because big game, and then all the way across the country.
Yeah, right.
I always think that.
Now
Because
they
they didn't
play
look like the
Detroit.
Bills early last night.
They play Detroit on the road.
They're not in a stadium?
No, they're just playing them on a road. Do you think if the
Like playing
Bills,
Jacks on 494.
if the Bills had, I can't think of a quarterback, but if the Bills didn't have Josh Allen, they'd have like 2 wins. Because that offense it's not loaded with talent.
No,
Yeah.
it's all him.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, we all know this. I'm just stating the obvious here. I mean, you say that about any one of those quarterbacks on that MVP list. I mean, it's probably the same thing.
Yeah.
You cut the number of wins in half, if not more. You know, it's all about quarterbacks in the NFL, especially dynamic ones that can make plays with their legs.
I mean, look at the ratio. Lamar's almost at 10-1, by the way. 29 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 29-3.
Wow. Dang.
He's been awesome this year, man.
Burrow's 30-5.
Yeah, how about that?
But how about, again, I just mentioned the MVP odds, right? Goff is 10-1, Darnold is 50-1, right? Seems like, wow, that must be a gigantic difference. Their numbers are almost identical. So you could say, again, if Sam Darnold just gets that ball to JJ on 3rd down and the Vikings win and they're 12-1, you probably flip those 2 odds. Because, again, Darnold has 28 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Goff has 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Almost identical passer ratings. The only thing that Goff really has on him is about 4% more for completion percentage, 72-68. Yards are identical. Average is identical. Yards a game is identical. Like it's across the board the exact same stat line between Goff and Darnold. But everybody's like, Goff's an MVP candidate. And nobody's talking about~Darnold. But they would have been if they were 12-1. One third down conversion away from maybe being one of the front runners. Paul, your hands up.
Playmaker wise, who has a better offense, the Vikings or the Lions?
With the Lions' ability to run the football, probably them. They have a lot more balance, a lot more consistency. Yeah, I mean we've gotten a lot better running the football, and I tell you what, I feel like every game Akers is getting better and better as well. I mean, when he comes in to spell Aaron Jones, it's just like there's really no drop off, and it actually gives us a little bit, kind of a dynamic, like a little jitterbug back there that can still make some plays. Yeah. It's just that the physicality at which the Lions can move a defensive line on a consistent basis, we don't have that. I'd love it, but we don't have it.
Right, especially in the red zone. We cannot run the ball in the red zone.
Yeah.
I mean, and then we have to come up with these weird trick plays that you're just like, oh, how are we losing 5 yards?
I know.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Odd.
Yeah.
The throwback to the throwback.
Yeah, I was like, how many times are we going to throw this football around?
Yeah, that was like a. Yeah.
Well, that would have been
too.
that would have been the news brought to you by our friends at Carboni's.
That's right.
Thanks, Carboni's Pizza.
Thanks, Carboni's.
But when we come back, Sauce, you'll tell us about sports, and that
Of
includes
course.
the Minnesota Vikings.
Absolutely. I'll tell you about all of them.
Don't miss out on the Power Trip Morning Show when they take over Treasure Island on February 6th and 7th. Be there for tons of games, laughs, and great prizes, including a Vegas trip to watch the big game. Book your stay using promo code KFAN for both the 6th and the 7th to save 15%. To get the full details and book your stay today, head over to KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
I know it's a couple months away, but how cool is that going to be, right? We're going to do our normal kind of spring TI show, a Thursday night and into a Friday morning. And instead of, hey, you win a trip for a couple people to Vegas with a power trip in like a month, it's going to be, nope, you're packing your bags and leaving the next day. Because the big game, you know the big game?
Yeah.
You know that big game that I'm talking about? That's that weekend. So you immediately basically grab your S and get going to Vegas.
That's sweet,
That's
dude.
going to be out. And if you don't win it, you can stick around and watch the Chris Hockey Band that night. We'll be playing there. So
Yeah,
it'll be
that'll
fun.
be sweet.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait.
That's
It's going to
be
be
a very fun weekend.
Fun, man.
That's Feb 6 and 7 at Treasure Island Resort and Casino.
That'll be fun, man.
If you guys haven't seen this already, and I know we're about to do sports, and I don't mean to derail the situation, but do yourself a favor and look up Sexy Colombian Hit Woman.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
How about the look on her face and her mugshot? She is, again, so I'm repeating things people have said over here in this room, but the movie about this woman is going to be fantastic.
Yes.
And she's super hot and she looks like a killer.
Like the Hollywood film or another
Yes.
type of movie?
Look at her.
Well, probably both, Zach.
Like this woman has
Oh,
seen
for
some
sure.
blank. That woman has seen some stuff.
Yeah, she's fine as hell.
She's scary.
You know, that's
They
the thing,
call her
though.
the doll.
Yeah.
Interesting.
She is like a lot of other different looks, the perfect assassin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you would never expect that sort of violence out of the way that she looks.
Right.
She could get literally anybody looking like that too.
Yeah.
Like no matter what the clientele is, like you're got.
One of the first links has people on Reddit comparing her to Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
A lot of people on Twitter
They got
already
a
saying
side by
that.
side right here in this one.
Yeah.
That's exactly who should play her
Yeah.
in the movie.
Yep.
The one picture
That's
also
crazy.
looks a little bit like Sporty Spice.
Yeah, man.
Remember Sporty Spice? What was her name? Was that one of the Mel's?
I love how they made her turn around
Yeah.
and take a picture of her from
That was pretty hot.
Do a twirl.
Who did that? She's a murderer.
That
No,
was
no,
for
we
you.
need you to
Turn
do
around.
that for everybody.
Just in case she runs away.
Yeah, right.
But
Just
that's how I would prefer it. I want a sexy assailant. I mean, I really,
amen, brother.
if I'm going to be killed, if they're going to take me out, make sure they're hot.
Right.
Well, your hope is it's not in the back of the head. You never see her.
Well,
Right.
Whoa.
Mus has a gun to his head.
tit for tat, right?
You're too ugly for this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can't shoot me. You're hideous.
Yeah. Be hotter.
But you know what?
please.
You guys would know for sure. I died doing what I loved.
Zip.
100%. I remember when I went to Columbia, a couple of our listeners messaged me. They're like, "Watch out, dude. Hot girls will message guys on dating apps and scam them and rob all their stuff." And I'm like, "Consider me robbed, brother." 'Cause I ain't gonna
It's
say
worth
no.
Yep. I got 2 kidneys for a reason.
Right.
Well played.
I don't need all my fingers.
I don't need both.
Yeah, right.
Keep some of my liver, please.
Weird. Sauce, the floor is yours.
Time for Fan 5 on the Power Trip. Presented by All Around Property Preservation.
Maxo.
Hey.
The Wolves' 4-game winning streak is done after they lose 114-106 to the Warriors. Ant had 27. He was great in the third. He was terrible in the fourth. Curry had 30. The Wolves are 12-11. They battle the Lakers on Friday.
Yeah, they got a lot of LA teams. Me and Zach were just talking about this off there. They played Sacramento already a couple times, the Lakers already a couple times, the Warriors already a couple times. But yeah, it just basically fell apart in the fourth quarter. They had commanded the game for 3/4 of the game, and then Steph Curry hit Ant hit a 3-pointer, I think, right at the end of the third quarter. Then Steph Curry hit one of those vintage classic Steph Curry buzzer beating threes that got the crowd into it, and it was kind of just an avalanche from there. And Anthony Edwards, like you said, was pretty brutal in the fourth quarter, and the Wolves didn't really have a whole lot outside of Ant in that fourth quarter. So yeah, the Warriors are doing amazing things, man. Things that we've never really seen in the NBA. The Wolves have an 8-man rotation, 7-man rotation. The Warriors are running a 12-man
everybody
rotation
plays.
right
Yeah.
now. Wow. It's incredible. We've never truly really seen anything like it in the NBA. They have over 11 players that are averaging double-digit amount of minutes, so they're getting the most out of everybody. And Jonathan Kuminga was great last night. Obviously, Rob Dillingham is still hurt. Would have liked to see him get in a little bit, but it's cool to see Josh Minor. It's Finch is opening his mind a little bit and unleashing the young guys a little bit. So it's good to see. But it's the Warriors. You can't be too mad about it.
Their last 6 opponents, obviously Warriors last night, Warriors Friday, Clippers last week, Lakers last week, Clippers again last week, and then the Kings. And then they're going to play the Lakers on Friday night here on the Fan. So
A lot of LA
that's
love.
7 straight California teams, if my White Bear math is correct.
So why the extended break?
Just
The NBA Cup, yeah.
The NBA Cup.
Yeah.
So since they're not a part of it, they just
Heart's
get
devastated about
They
that.
just scheduled this game.
Play somebody else. Yep.
Yep.
Somebody else that does not make it.
Yeah.
It's
Sorry,
like the
Hawk.
consolation bracket.
It isn't worth it.
Losers.
No, you're right, Pee Wee
But there's
Herman.
just no bracket.
Pee-wee's always.
So are the teams that have advanced, are they playing in this the next 5 days?
That's a hockey question.
No, that's a basketball question.
So is the whole league
Brilliant.
sort of on a 5-day break?
Well, again, everybody kind of plays a game that they weren't, quote, scheduled to play. It's a game that's later in the year that gets moved. So when is the actual NBA Cup?
Tuesday
Let
and
me see
Wednesday,
here.
it looks like. Tuesday, the Thunder and the Mavericks will square off in the West quarterfinals, and then on the other side, the Magic and the Bucks. And then Wednesday, the other two teams will sort it out, and everybody goes. The winners will all go to Vegas.
Definitely a memorable night.
Saturday is the semis, essentially, but those are obviously to be determined because it depends on who wins on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Okay, so 2-part thing real quick.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like to not advance is in the best interest of a team because you get these longer breaks at
Agreed.
least.
Yes.
You still do have to play the same amount of like the couple games instead. But yeah, you do get a little bit of a break.
You get a little bit of a break. And is this thing already dead? This playoff thing, this in-season playoff thing?
Yes.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think the
feel
Lakers.
like nobody cares about this thing this year versus last year.
I think it depends on who's in the finals, and I think it worked out well for them that it could be Giannis versus Luka or possibly Steph Curry in the mix. I think it continues to work as long as they have the superstar players. Like last year, it couldn't have worked out better for them having LeBron James win the first ever NBA Cup. But if it ends up being Houston Rockets versus the Atlanta Hawks, 0 people are going to watch that game. But I think it's somewhat. You kind of see the players getting into it a little bit. I think it's becoming It's becoming a thing that fans are discussing a little bit more. Like it seemed like Wolves fans were genuinely a little upset that they didn't make it to the second round because the Wolves bracket, I mean, the NBA wanted us to go to Vegas and we just completely blew it. So I do think it's starting to become a little bit more of a thing.
What?
Okay.
I'm sorry, Pat.
Zacho?
Yeah.
Your Wild play the Utah Hockey Club in Utah tomorrow at 8:30 for the first time.
Yeah, Utah's won 2 straight, but they were very bad teams that they beat. So
Is that right?
it's a Central Division collision, and the Wild still on top of the Central Division right now. They're tied right now with the Jets, but a couple games in hand. So, tough loss on Saturday, but great win on Friday. The injury bug, it's going to be interesting. Hopefully they can, get a win tonight and then come back home this weekend.
Juan Soto and the New York Mets are in agreement on a 15-year, $765 million deal. It can go up to $800 million. It's the largest deal in professional sports history, and there is no deferred money.
Millions and millions and millions.
That's true.
Correct, Pat?
That's still unbelievable to me.
I think it's stupid.
The Shohei thing, I get it because he's basically 2 top-notch players in one, so that at least kind of makes sense. But Juan Soto's amazing, but I don't get it. And if you're the Yankees, you also lost out on this generational player because you weren't willing to extend the contract by $5 million.
Right.
They offered him, I think, the same exact contract except 1 extra year and $5 million less. So it seems a weird way to lose one of your true superstar players.
It's like when you're at a silent auction and you're trying to bid something up for the charity and nobody else bids. And you're like, oh, please.
Like the Yang machine?
Yeah, right.
Why did I raise my paddle?
Yeah, right, please, somebody.
Didn't you outbid yourself on that?
To be fair, I was wasted.
What did you pay for that?
Way too much. You know what? I can say it now. $2,500. Yeah, that's right. And some cheese.
Sauce, what else is this Juan Soto contract exactly like?
Women.
This is
How's that, Pat?
Can you elaborate?
this is like paying a lot of money for I can't think of it.
And was meat sauce with.
I thought the women line was too good.
Is it exactly like?
Chad Abbott.
The Metrodome was built in for $124 million. By the way,
Somebody tweeted yesterday, and it was brilliant.
and that's $400 million today. So it's still
Yeah.
The Twins wouldn't have done $15 million for 765 years. That's funny.
That is a good line.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Somebody on Twitter. It was super funny.
Oh, I love
Chad
somebody.
The Golden
Great
Gopher
follow.
men's
Brian Adams
basketball
wrote a song about
team, Hogs Daddy, battles Indiana tonight. In Indiana at 5:30, the Hoosiers are 10.5-point favorites.
Squishy.
Jeez, Pat.
What a great word.
Our buddy boy Parker Fox. Somehow great it is to play in that arena. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's fun.
Have you been there?
Never. I've driven by it a bunch of times. That count?
It's like Muss with the Lion's Den.
Yeah, driven by it a lot, yeah.
Never been in it, though. Just driven by it a ton.
Right.
Yep.
He's not coming back.
What else is it exactly like?
What else is what exactly like?
Like Chris driving by the arena but never going in. And Muss kind of like the Lion's Den.
Hey, you
going by but
holiday
never
shop
going in.
where you want to, okay?
What
It's
else is
like,
it like?
Zach driving by a Chippendales and not going in.
Vaya con Dios.
What else is it exactly like?
It's like you driving by Victoria's Secret and being like, I have all that stuff. I don't need to go in there.
What else?
It's like Hawk driving by a casino and pretending to wave at everybody, but saying that he didn't go in, even though we all know he went into the casino.
And that was meat sauce with
What else is it exactly?
Yeah, we haven't really heard that angle this year. We haven't heard much about you avoiding casinos on the road this year.
I don't.
On the road.
Yeah, right. No, that's what he asked. I don't have any problems with it. I don't. I just don't.
Well, we haven't been anywhere.
Right. There's not been anywhere to go with the casinos.
There's always a casino within driving distance if you're willing to drive.
If you're willing to, and I'm not.
Yeah. Are there casinos around Seattle?
No.
I don't think so either.
Well, I mean, you could drive
Not
to Vegas.
one.
What is
Not
that,
a single
15,
one.
16,
Or
17
just
hours?
go
Road again.
grab some shrooms.
I'm just going to be honest with you. There is one in Seattle, but it's a long taxi ride, and I've taken that taxi ride. And it's out into the middle of nowhere, and you think you might be getting murdered.
Seattle. You can see it, but you can't get there.
Yeah, right.
That's the worst about traveling around there.
Pull your hands up.
Sweetheart.
Was your YAG machine a 3-bottle one?
That's right. Don't even tell me how much it's worth
Yeah.
because I did it for charity. It was for charity.
You can get
Just
one
for the kids.
I'm putting her through college.
You can get one on eBay for $85.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
It's probably not the same quality.
No, it's not
No.
the same quality.
Yeah.
Oh, no. 85
Well,
bucks.
good. Well, you know what? I'm sure that
It was good for the charity.
it was good for the charity.
You
Yeah,
can't
I
write
think-
that 85 off, but
That's
you can
right.
write the, I don't even know what you paid
Yeah.
for that.
I can tell you where it's at.
hour.
Where is it?
My storage unit.
The Golden Gopher football team will play Virginia Tech on January 3rd in the Duke Mayo Bowl.
On the road again.
Pat will be there. Game time is 6:30. Pregame, I would assume, is at 4:30 right here on the Fan. The Gophers open as a 4.5-point favorite.
PJ, are you excited to get some mayo dumped on you again?
It's a great tradition. This is what college football is all about. You have a little bit of these quirks that come out based on who's sponsoring it and the traditions they have, and I think it's tremendous. If we're lucky enough and fortunate enough to win the football game, absolutely make it double.
Yeah, make it a double.
It is one of those.
Jump.
It is one of those great traditions. Right? One of the coaches that wins the national title, right, will hoist the national championship trophy, and our guy's going to have mayo dumped on him.
Yeah, remember
Great
when
tradition.
Nick
Very,
Rockne
very
got the
similar
mayo
thing.
dumped on him?
Yep, it's going to be the same kind of like, wow, this is tradition.
Remember
This is
the
what
original
I
line was
wanted.
"Win one for the mayo."
Yeah, God.
Will they make a 30 for 30 about that? I mean, because it is such a tradition, you really want to highlight that.
Tommy wishes he had eligibility left.
I hate mayonnaise
volunteer.
so much, I don't think I'll even be able to watch the game just because mayo's in it.
Isn't there like the Pop-Tart bit? Where like,
Oh, yeah.
That's actually kind of fun.
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
great.
yeah, they get to
The
pick.
Pop-Tart mascot goes
Yeah.
down into the giant toaster at the end, and then out comes.
And then you hear screaming.
unbelievable tradition.
I think it goes all the way back to like 1927 or something.
Pop-Tarts are the
Yeah,
best.
back when mayo was
Yeah,
real.
back when mayo and Pop-Tarts were a real big thing.
Oof, yummy.
It's a tradition like no other.
That's
What's your
right.
favorite kind of Pop-Tart, Core?
Brown sugar.
Make a bad girl good. What?
Is that a Dokken lyric?
No, Rolling Stones.
Brown sugar untoasted, right out of the pouch. Don't throw it in the toaster.
Psycho.
Ice cold.
What a psycho.
Pouch?
Ice cold.
They're good.
What's wrong with you? Nobody does that.
Oh yeah, that's
Nothing
the way
like
to
a
do
brown sugar pouch, right, Core?
100%.
Zach, what
It's
did
my
you
favorite
say?
kind of
Just
pouch.
say I would.
I legitimately gagged the last time I tried a
thought
brown
you said-
sugar
I
pop
thought you said Corey's legitimately gay.
I was like, oh my God.
That goes fed up.
He's like, cash, those tickets.
Excuse me, illegitimately.
Found the pictures, Corey.
How did you know Corey came out? He told us what kind of Pop-Tart he liked.
It's code on the message boards. And if I like brown sugar Pop-Tarts out of the punch, ice
Untoasted.
cold, you know what that means.
Yeah, put your hands down, Corey.
That was the bat signal for Tommy.
Yeah.
He knows now.
Oh,
Yeah, that's not the toe tap underneath
same
the
thing.
stall wall.
A lot of times when I'm at the MSP bathroom, I'll just go, anybody want a cold brown sugar Pop-Tart? And the line just forms.
Yup.
Man, this show's dumb. Vikings news is next. That'll be better. Maybe.
Come hang with the Power Trips Meat Sauce at Malone's tomorrow night for Coors Light Hockey Night at 6:30 p.m. Watch Minnesota take on Utah while playing hockey trivia for your shot at sweet tickets to the January 9th game against Colorado. Get the full details now at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
Hey, good morning once again. Welcome back. Power Trip Morning Show, 747. And it's time for some Vikings news. As if we haven't done that all morning already, but the more the merry, the more we can do it, the better, because our team continues to win. It's just unbelievable.
It's time for Vikings news on the Power Trip, presented by
Redco. And luckily, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Ben Leber, and the other man himself, Mike Mussman. In the
His title sounded better.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're the other man.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. But here's KOC on what has changed with our quarterback since a bad showing in Jacksonville.
What it was is it, in my opinion, was an incredible growth moment for him to then just come right back the next week and start stacking some things that are kind of leading into a layered kind of success type approach, which is what happens to a lot of quarterbacks in this league, especially the ones that their trajectory is over the course of a season or their careers is pointing sky high. They're able to stack days, and this day will be something that he can build off of. I truly do believe that in our offense, and there was a lot of things that we'll be able to really highlight of who we want to be about as a football team that are going to show up on this tape.
Ben?
Well, I guess I agree. I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to say because I'm not on the inside, but we all appreciate whatever he did, whatever stacks upon stacks he was doing. I'm in. It's working. He's playing with confidence. He's playing with swagger, and he's playing, in a way, he's playing safe. He's not throwing the ball away, which is great.
This is a 3 or 4 or 5 part question, so stay with me for a second. What percentage of the credit do you give to Sam himself, and what percentage of the credit do you give to KOC for his reemergence?
Probably 70% KOC. And
70. Wow. Okay, so I guess that's part 2 of my question then. I'm glad you said it was that high. Because clearly Sam Darnold's going to get paid from some other team. Somebody's going to have to worry about salary cap and all that kind of. There is no salary cap for coaches. What does KOC get this offseason when they re-up him? Because if you can turn Sam Darnold into an MVP candidate, and if your 70% number is even remotely what the Vikings think, like, wow, he's this good, he can turn Sam Darnold into an MVP candidate, then what do you give Kevin a year?
Hundreds of thousands.
More than that, I think.
Billions and billions.
No, maybe slightly, somewhere in between.
Millions and millions and millions.
Yes.
What is he making now?
I don't know.
I think it's...
Where are the coaches' salaries posted? I mean, player salaries easy. There's lots of websites for that. Coaching salaries, I guess I've never really looked up those numbers. I know we talked about it with Brian Flores. Like, I don't want him to leave. So whatever extra zero you need to throw in there, whatever assistant head coach title you need to throw in there, whatever gives him total control of the defense, just whatever you can do. Pay for his kid's private school, give him a car and a house. I don't know. Whatever.
So, are you guys looking that up? Do you guys find it?
Yeah. Saucy was right. It's $5 million.
It's $5 million?
Approximately, yeah.
All right, so if a starter house, if an initial NFL head coaching deal is in the $5 million range, are we talking double that next time?
Well, do you have a list? Do you have a list of all the coaches on there? Like, who's the highest paid coach right now?
I mean, is it McVay?
Well, I'm not asking to guess. I mean, is it? Sorry. I'm asking.
We're asking Google.
Yeah, you're on the website, right?
I believe it's Andy Reid.
Yeah, Andy Reid.
Okay, that makes
$20 million, and then Sean Payton is.
Whoa! Andy's making 20 million.
That's what a quick Google search says. It says 20. Sean Payton 18. Mike Tomlin 16, and Jim Harbaugh 16.
So, honestly, when you think about that, that's only $1 million or so a game for the teams that go all the way to the postseason. That's a pretty good deal if your coach is that good, considering the top quarterbacks are making closer to $3 million a game. Right, and that's because if they're making 50 plus, it's 3 and change per game. All right, so man, maybe KOC's more in that.
He needs
14,
to be,
$15 million range.
At least 12.
At least. Yeah. All right, so here's the third or fourth part of that question that we were asking earlier. If KOC is 70% of the credit, Sam Darnold figuring this out for the first time in his career is the other 30%. Once you get, quote, fixed, right? If he has been cured by Kevin O'Connell, is that permanent? Like, can he go to Cleveland or the Giants or somebody and have this same level of success in a new system, just with a newfound confidence and newfound skill set?
That is going to be the ultimate question. And
what do you think?
I think he definitely has learned what it takes in this particular system and what KOC wants. I think that is transferable. But it's difficult to say because in a course of 17 games, there are going to be ups and downs. And without that consistent voice, with Josh McCown in the quarterback room, with KOC, you got to think if I'm going to give him 70% of that success, it's not physical. It's all the mental stuff. It's all the emotional stuff. And I don't know, man. I think that the NFL continually makes the same mistake thinking that their people can fix this person, or they have this ego that what we can do here is going to be better than what this player or this coach had before. So I have no doubt that some team's going to convince themselves that, hey, what he learned there is transferable to what we're doing. I mean, look at Kirk Cousins. And you don't think that his success had anything to do with the system that he ran? And then this offensive coordinator in Atlanta's like, we're going to put him in pistol and we're going to do all these other ridiculous things. No, do what he does best. But they continually make the same mistake. So as much as somebody's going to pay for Kirk Cousins, somebody's going to pay for Sam Darnold and think that he's going to be playing at the same level this year.
So what you're saying is no matter who signs him, they're going to have to adjust to Sam as opposed to Sam adjusting to them.
I think 100% yes. When he's been in the league this many years, with this many, he's played in multiple systems, and he finds the right system that fits him. Don't try to change the player. You wouldn't put Tom Brady in Norv Turner's offense and be like, go, chuck the ball 40 yards downfield every play. That's not him.
You're at least hoping maybe like an OC is part of the McVay tree, right?
Yes. That's why I was going back and I heard Sauce earlier that he correctly, stated that I think the best situation for him and for the Rams is for him to go back to LA. As great as Stafford is playing right now, I get it. But the guy's what, 35? 36?
I won't guess this time. I'll look it up.
I would assume
he's 36.
And Sam is 27. So I don't know if you're thinking longevity. You've got a guy that is playing in the same system at just as high a level. It might be really hard to let Stafford go. Now, it might not, because I think he's got like $60 million on the books or something next year, which is a crazy number. Just say, man, thanks for everything, but go live out your twilight years with some other team. We're going to build for a future and pay this guy, 60% of what we're paying you.
Aren't we already sculpting the bronze statue of Sam Darnold?
Yeah, which is all that can be done. He can win us a Super Bowl, and then he can go cash his giant check with some other team, and we've got a young quarterback that's going to have this open window for the next 10 years to win another Super Bowl.
Would you consider franchise tagging?
No.
Next year.
Well,
because you still don't know what you got with JJ.
When you talk about all the potentials, like what draft equity, and like we could franchise him, we could use him as a pawn, and then we could trade him, and then we get this draft compensation. Yeah, I guess if you want to play dirty like that, fine. I think that you let the guy go and cash out on his success. You bring up JJ in a way that he's our quarterback for the next 10, 12 years, and everybody's happy.
I think you just nailed it. If they didn't have anybody in the pipeline, I think you could legitimately ask, should we tag Sam and keep him here, right? Against his will, maybe. But the fact that you have JJ, it would feel really dirty to not let him go get his long-term gigantic deal, right? I think that the players would feel pretty pissed for Sam.
Owe him for that. I mean, okay, if you're talking about,
you have JJ, though.
No, I know, but you rebuilt this guy's career, right?
Yeah.
So doesn't he owe us and KOC more than we owe him? As far as what I'm saying is that, let him go get his big money. It would be wrong to not let him go get his big money and big contract. Screw all that. He got a chance here, and he's making the most out of it. Good for him. But if it's the quarterback whisperer and you got KOC here, he kind of owes us a little bit. So if you franchise tag him, boo, friggity who.
But do you want a guy here that is loving it and is thankful, and now you're going to piss him off by going, no, we're not letting you out. You're stuck here for a year.
He's still going to make a ton of money.
I get it, but I just I don't think they would ever do that
I think
to him.
psychologically, if that happened to me, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, what are you guys doing? Like, this was not the agreement. The agreement was I was going to be here for 1 year. And I'm helping groom this young player for you guys, show him the ropes, show him what it's like to be a pro. And you guys going to do me dirty like this and just hold on to my rights when I went out and totally proved that I can be a capable starting quarterback? I would be pissed.
All right, so let's go back to the KOC quarterback whisperer bit. What if Daniel Jones is truly just here for like 6 weeks? Then how does that translate to him hitting free agency? Because again, I know one of the plans is let's see if we can get him back here next year on a super, super cheap deal to back up J.J. McCarthy if his rehab is slow or if he's struggling or whatever the deal is. I still am confused why Daniel Jones would want to do that. Just to not be a bridge quarterback like Sam and get in there for a year, but to come back as a backup? Because if JJ's good, then Daniel's going to sit the entire year. How does that get him paid the year after that? Like, I don't understand that. If I'm Daniel Jones, I want a starting job next year. You're here just to learn as much as you can before you go back into the market. Can KOC truly help him that much by just practicing with him for 2 months?
I guess. I mean, that's kind of the same logic that I had when I was like kind of lukewarm on the whole thing. If in the whole thing is totally dependent on whether that he's here next year. If he's here just for a 6-week quarterback camp, we're not running quarterback camps here. Like that's not what we're supposed to be about. But my thought and my theory is like it all works out, and it's a great signing if he's here next year as just the backup quarterback. Just and truly as a backup. I mean, yeah, he's probably going to push, quote unquote, push JJ a little bit. But look, we all think that JJ needs to start next year. Hands down. He just has to. We have to see what we got out of this draft pick. Whether or not he has a good preseason, a bad preseason, he's got to start. You got to see what this kid can do. And then that's why you have a guy like Daniel Jones backing him up. Because if he does struggle a little bit, then you know that you can go kind of back and forth a little bit until he figures it out.
All right, help me this. I don't mean to cut you off because let's stay on the same path. If you paid Sam Darnold $10 million to be a bridge quarterback that was likely to start, and he did, what do you pay a reclamation project in Daniel Jones to be the backup if you gave Sam 10? What would you pay Daniel Jones if he was truly number 2 next year behind JJ? 5-ish?
Yeah, I was gonna say 8.
Oh man.
I mean, everything goes up. So yeah. I mean, I think the number that you're thinking is 5 is probably correct, but it'll probably be closer to 8 with incentives. And the thing is, if everybody's talking about, well, it's a total, like, it's a benefit for us because it's going to be, compensation if he signs here and then he goes and signs a free agent deal someplace else. You know what has to happen for that to happen? It's like he's got to be elevated from practice squad to active roster. Then he has to find a way to get in the game. He has to play in an NFL game as a Minnesota Viking for there to be any sort of calculation with this draft compensation thing. So, like, yes, you are for just a few $100,000 kind of like setting yourself up, but there's not a lot of short-term benefit to this thing at all. It's all a long play. And if Daniel Jones is going to be here for the next year, then it's a great signing because he's a great dude. We all see the physical tools. He's got the big arm that KOC likes. And if he can sign for just, like we said, $5 to $8 million, it's a quality backup.
It is really crazy. Let's just for argument's sake, say the number's 8. It's crazy that KOC is coaching this year for 5 and Daniel Jones might be the backup quarterback next year for 8. And the value you get out of KOC for $5 million for a season versus what you'll get out of Daniel Jones for 8 is insane.
Well, they need to take that number 5 and jack it up to at least 7 or $8 more million on top of that.
Yeah, let's get to 15 for KOC. And does that price Brian Flores out if KOC is going to get that big of a raise? Do they have enough money in the coaching pool? I know it's a no cap situation, but do the Wolves want to cut a giant check to keep Flores too?
Well, the one thing we have learned from the Wolves is that they aren't afraid of spending money.
That is true.
I mean, you look at the stadium, you look at TCO. I mean,
it's the one thing we've got in common.
Right.
Yeah, the Wolves would buy that Yag machine.
Yeah, right.
3-bottle Yag machine.
Make 4 of them.
They probably got 4 of them in storage right now.
They probably do. They want a 5th one, you think?
More with Ben Leber and Michael J. Mussman III, the 8 o'clock hour of the Power Trip Morning Show after this on The Fan.
Squishy